Welcome to Under the Makeup, the podcast where beauty meets brains and glam gets real. I'm your host, Brittany D, pro MUA educator and your behind the scenes bestie in all things beauty, business, and boldness. Now, on to this week's episode. Hey, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all that jazz. I am on my other phone just to make sure everything is squared away before we actually start. So let me know how it looks and then we shall get started. Checking the chat. Hey, Sun. Hey, Peach. Hey, Tanya. Welcome in. If you guys don't mind, please like, share, and subscribe. We love to see it. Bright tonight. Yeah, I know. I usually wear black. And I was like, you know what? It's the podcast. Let's switch things up. And I normally love bright colors, so I'm always in color. The only time I'm only in black is like if I'm servicing someone, so I'm usually in black because I got so accustomed to teaching in black. So, you know. So yes, I am bright tonight. Man, I threw this makeup on like in 10 minutes. So if it looks sideways a little bit, that's the reason why. So, but we're not gonna judge. We're not gonna judge. So I see that I'm okay on here. So we're going to roll right on in. So as you come in, please let me know how you're doing. How was your day today, etc. What's the temperature of you today? Are you good? Are you okay? Um, and all of that. Hopefully, you watched episode one. I know quite a few of you already gave me feedback on episode one, which I am. I'm appreciative and I love that you watched it and it resonated with you. If you don't know who I am your host for tonight. I am Brittany D, and I want to invite you and welcome into Under the Makeup podcast show. And yeah, we are on episode two now. So we're going to dive in and get started. So I don't want to keep you guys too long, but we have some good things coming in. We have good topics coming in from people that have suggested topics, etc. I appreciate you. So, yes, Peach said, I'm working my butt off today, so okay, I guess. I listen, the working your butt off does not stop there. Not to hurt your feelings, but I mean it is it's life. You know, adulting is hard. Adulting is hard, but it's definitely rewarding at the same time, or it can be rewarding at the same time. So as you know, my marquee, my information that I need to share is in front of me. So if I look this way, you know what I'm looking at. But yes, so episode two, let's dive all the way in. Tanya says, doing good today, only one more day of work, and then I'm off into the fourth. You're off into the fourth? I mean, I can't say that. I can say the same thing. I'm in public school, but I am happy for you. I know you're gonna be asleep. I would. All right, so episode two tonight is if you haven't read the subject yet, I usually put the subjects a day before or a couple of hours before it airs. So it's what I do if I was starting as a makeup artist today in today's world. And of course, this podcast is a divide between makeup artists and beauty content creators. So I try to curate topics that can lean into both types of profession. So the subtitle is How Beauty Creators Can Also Grow with the Same Foundation. So if you're ready to take notes, if you're ready to dive in with me, let's go. Okay. So if I had to start from scratch as a makeup artist in today's content driven world, here's what I focus on and how beauty creators can build alongside that same mindset. So, like I said, it's not only for makeup artists, it's also for beauty content creators. And in a nutshell, makeup artists and beauty content creators, we skate between the two, especially nowadays. So, and we'll get into that more and all that jazz. So I'm excited. So this gives you room to share the real artistry journey, empower beauty creators to apply pro level thinking. When you're on pro level thinking, it elevates whatever you got going on. It'll elevate your content, it'll elevate your makeup game, it will elevate you to the max. Set yourself apart as someone who leads with experience and not just influence, because we don't want to only focus on how we can influence someone else, but when we give that experience and focus on the experience more than the influence in social media realm and social media worlds, it does so much for us and it does so much for your audience. And anybody else who sits in your chair if you're a makeup artist or watches you and relies on your recommended products. So either way, an experience is an experience. So back to the beginning. If I had no clients, no kits, and no following, just passion and Wi-Fi, here's how I would rebuild. And this is in a sense of what I know now. I wish I knew um I wish I knew starting out, but everything is for a reason. I completely understand that, but I would eliminate a lot of hiccups along the way. I'm the type of person to solve a problem. Like if I see the problem, I'm immediately going to try to figure out how to solve the problem. That's the type of person I am. I love to resolve things, and that could be with anything. So, had I known it was a problem back in the day when I started out my artistry, I would have nipped that in the butt in the quickness. All right, so moving on. So for makeup artists, we'll start with you. We'll start with us because, of course, I will lean into way more makeup artistry than beauty content creating. So, number one, you want to master skin prep, and not just skin prep, you do want to master the skin. Mastering the skin will, as a beginner, as knowing that information first and foremost, will literally set you apart, not just as an artist, but you will alleviate yourself from many hiccups along the way. Understanding skin first and then understanding how to use the skincare products to formulate, to curate your skin prep is amazing. I'm telling you. Plus, color theory or understanding your undertone, your overtone, all of that accompanied with understanding and mastering skin and skincare products for your artistry and for your makeup, you literally did more than half the job in the beginning. So, when I was starting out, I literally did not focus at all when it came to skin too much. I mean, I knew I wanted the makeup to sit on the skin a certain way, but that is as far deep as I dived when it came to anything about skin and anything about color theory. First of all, I wasn't really well versed in color theory at that time just yet. I was still trying to understand. My goal, honestly, was I want the best highlight, the best contour. I want it to look a certain way. My focus was blending because blending is still not a trend, it's just a technique now. But back in the day, it was more geared towards a trend. So I was trying to make sure everything was blended, nothing was out of place. This, that, and the third. That is about basic as basic gets when I was talking about anything about skin or complexion. Going to the chat. Can't wait to be called out tonight. Peach. Number two, practicing on real faces, not just your own. Um, I definitely can agree with that one. Not that I did not want to touch anybody else's face. I just started practice. To me, I feel like I started practicing way later than I really should have. And that was just because I needed to put me aside, and me, as in like my thought process, like my thoughts that I was telling myself, I just needed to put that aside and really just touch a face. To be honest. Um, I wish I practiced on more of my friends and my family. I did it every once in a blue moon, but the more you build the muscle, the more you stretch that muscle, you look at different people, you touch different people's skin and skin texture, and you understand how to curate something or how to curate the products that you need for that particular person that's in your chair. It literally will, that alone will give you so much knowledge. And so practicing on real faces, especially the people that trust you, that trust, your hand. When you are practicing, however, you do want to let the people know that, hey, I'm developing my artistry. I just started out. I need to practice on real people. And then there are people that are going to be like, yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool with me. And then the other people are like, absolutely not. So I, what I say to that is not to take offense to that. It is what it is. Would I suggest grabbing people off the street to, or finding people at different public places like malls and stuff like that? Probably not, because you're really fooling with someone else's faces. Not that you're not with your family and friends, but they'll be quite okay with that than you doing it to a complete stranger. So, and then the people that are in your house, etc. So that's my suggestion. You do as you will with the models you decide to grab. But yes, your first few models or first few people that you should be working on and practicing on are your family and your friends, if you have any family and friends that are nearby. Why not just practice on your own as a makeup artist? Because you know your face, and or you might not, but you know your face more than anybody. And so practicing only on your face and then jump to doing clients is not a makeup artist. And it's, you gonna get stuck along the way if you do it that way. So not saying that you can't only focus on your face, but you need to make sure that you are putting makeup on people. Putting makeup on people is initially what you'll be doing as a makeup artist in general. So why not practice on real people? Let's go to the chat real quick. Blending being a trend hurts. Like, what was you doing before blending? Well, actually, I know what y'all was doing, but still, listen. I I was still blending. My thing is, like, I looked at it, for me at least, I looked at it more so as a trend. The way that I was doing it, I had no purpose, no like understanding of why I was doing it this way instead of that way, that kind of thing, right? So everything that I do in my artistry and everything that I do in my application, it has a reason, it has a why to what I'm doing, it has a purpose. If it doesn't, I told my students this all the time as a cosmetology instructor. If there's no purpose that you can tell me that you're doing it, you need to find the why, the purpose of why you're doing it, and then you come and tell me. I might know. I need you to know. So if you can't tell me why you switched her hair color from red to green, then I don't know you need to come up with the purpose. Tell me the plan and why you chose that plan. And we can either roll with it or we have to discard it and go a different way. So that was my initial thought. Um, Tanya says, do you think becoming an esthetician would make someone more credible as a makeup artist? That is the way that I started. Actually, no, I didn't. I was a makeup artist first for a few years, and then I went to school. Um, I went to a university and graduated. Obviously, came back home, and then my mom was like, "You should definitely become an esthetician." I was like, "I don't want to go back to school." That was my brain. I'm like, I am finished with school. Why am I going back? That was my brain. But I was into skin, but not like that. Not like an esthetician was. And then going to esthetician school and getting my license, it was such an eye opener. It changes your perspective on everything you think about skin. I don't know how to explain that. But it changes everything, and it changed my artistry. It streamlined my artistry, and it also helped me to curate a list of products that I would need specifically for every person that's in my chair. In my kit, I can tackle anybody, any skin, because I know that I have products that are going to cater to that particular skin. If that makes any sense. That's a good question. Peach says, in today's world, I don't think you should be doing the mall methods. You can get away with it back in the day, but I wouldn't try it today. It's too much going on in the world, and just to blatantly go to the mall and grab somebody is just not feasible, and it's not safe. People are interesting in this day and age. We'll leave it at that. So I completely agree with you, Peach. Peach said, you might not know your face, or you might not. Listen, because I've came across, I'm not trying to judge, but I came across people who do their face all the time on social media. And they need to learn. They need to keep practicing. We'll call it that. We keep practicing. Um, Micah Zoid says makeup on other people is way different to putting it on yourself. It is. And I'm not trying to take away from beauty content creators at all. That is a different ball game and a different profession. However, it is very separate. It's not the same thing. You will be stuck if you've never touched the face. You will be because it's not yours. It's not yours. You're not prepared. You don't have the products that you need for whoever sits in your chair. You're 9 times out of 10, you're never gonna know who's gonna be in your chair as far as like how they look. You may not know. So, are you going to be prepared? What are you going to do? So, if a makeup artist is actually saying that to a beauty content creator, don't take offense to that. It is, you will be stuck. It is what it is. He said you learn different principles and more science behind the skin, leading to a more complex understanding other than product sits on the skin and press product into the skin. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because the way that I pick products, I don't pick products based off of the name, the brand name. I pick products based off of the ingredient. That's how we learn as an esthetician. We don't pick like we don't have that in the forefront of our mind. Like I want Peter Thomas Roth products, right? I want Dermalogica. No, it's more so what is the ingredient going to do for the skin? How much of this ingredient is in this product? So that's what we focus on. And with that, we lead with the ingredient more so than the brand. The brand also helps, but I mean, it could be the best brand and the product sucks. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't want to lead with the brand. This goes for makeup as well. This is why I don't buy every product on the market. I lead with what it can do, the performance it can give, and then okay, I might consider you. You know what I'm saying? So it has to have some kind of purpose, some kind of benefit in order to be added to my kit. I call it kit worthy. All right, so let's move on. From what you call it, rabbit hole. So practice on real faces, not just your own. Again, this is for makeup artists. Shadow, volunteer, or collaborate. That is so crucial. I did not do that. My shadow, volunteering, and collaborating was YouTube University. Okay, that is not a thing. That's just what people called it back in the day when you learn everything on YouTube. And that's who I was shadowing. That's what my volunteer hours were. That's who I was collaborating with, etc. Okay. I'm not, it's not that I'm not proud of it. It's just you can't stop there. You can learn a lot of things on YouTube, but you cannot let it stop there. You have to go find somebody, go whoever you are admiring. If you are admiring a specific artist, especially if they're local, if you're admiring a specific artist that you see your artistry aligning with, then you need to reach out to them. You never know what they're gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Some artists do offer shadowing and mentoring and volunteering and collaborating with whatever that they're doing, whether they be on set or if they're doing clients at a studio and it's a full day of clients and they would love for you to pop in. Listen, okay, and most of them will do it for free. Okay, they are not going to charge. However, some of them will. So it depends on how bad do you want this as a makeup artist. How bad would your pockets looking like? Can you budget? Can you add that into what you need, right? But definitely if you want this to be your profession, a makeup artist is very broad as far as like the title. You can be a makeup artist in an array of things now, especially in this day and age. There's so many professions that stems from makeup artistry that you can literally dive into. You need to figure out who those people are, research. Google is free, Chat GPT is free. That's another thing. And literally reach out to them either social media. I would rather you email first, but social media, etc. And ask them if they have a mentoring program, or ask them if there's a way that you can shadow, volunteer, or even collaborate with them. Hey Sylvia girl. Peach says YouTube is a tool to use, not the whole course of things to do. I know you better say that with your chest. All right, so the third thing is keep a small, smart kit. Keep a small, smart kit. These are the products that I suggest to start you off, not to only have, but to get you going. As you grow, as you learn, you need to start adding more, if that makes any sense. I don't want you to add and then you're like, I don't really want that. I didn't really need that in my artistry. There's been products that I've dabbled in and that I don't use anymore because it was just more so like, well, that artist told me to get it, or that content creator told me to get it, and now I have it, and I don't know why. I don't even use it, or I don't see myself using it anytime soon. I've done blind buying and adding to my kit along those terms. Don't do that. Okay. So keep a small, smart kit. You want the basics. So I definitely would start with complexion products. So you have your wet and your dry. What I mean by that is your wet could be, you can choose your preference, could be liquid foundation, cream foundation. Um, Definitely full coverage all the way because you can manipulate full coverage. So get full coverage. Make sure your products are full coverage. Your powders, your dry is your compact powders, your loose powders, and then of course brows, blush. Your blush can also be in the realm of a lot of products now have a, especially pro products, have a multi-use. So a lot of blush and lip products are combined. So you can roll with that if you're comfortable using it that way, or you can separate. Like you can get separate products. But me, multi-use that mug. It will save on your kit to start off. So blush, lip products, eyeshadow palette. I was debating to throw this in, but definitely an eyeshadow palette that has your neutral and your shimmers. Something that um, typical clients always revert back to. They're trying to be so bold and so proud, but they end up with a neutral eye. Come on, bruh. Which is completely fine. So always like the neutral and shimmers always get the most. worked on. So find a palette that has a good divide between the two. You have a few shimmers, common shimmers, and then like neutral mattes. And then, of course, mascara or lashes or both. In the beginning, you may not be fluid in how to put lashes on. That's okay. So I will leave lashes out if that's the case. But if you're like, baby, I know how to put on lashes, hey, that is up to you. So definitely mascara. Um, Fourth thing, focus on results. Okay, focus on the results and definitely document. We'll talk about that later, but document the results. And I suggest to document it, to video record it, to take pictures, etc., because you need to see your growth. And sometimes when we're so far in it, we don't really see how much we've grown. So, and you get to hear the feedback that people say about your artistry so far. And what I would say to myself is not to take it to heart in the beginning because it will hurt you because you are growing. This is new, but definitely try your best not to take it to heart and grow with your artistry as well as a person. So yeah. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat. Thank you, son. She said to don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, and also share. Peach says, I will give people a long list of recs. I always tell people to do a more narrowed down search to actually get the 4 to 5 products they may benefit from in their kit from the list. Right. But as long as they stay covering the basics of the face, skincare products you may not know. So that's why I didn't add it in there. So at that point in the beginning, just use what they have. Sometimes they are great with skincare products, and other times they don't use anything. I've come across clients on both ends of the spectrum. So, yes. Mika says, I love a multi use palette, period. I forget sometimes that there are, though. I do too, but I have a tendency to well, I try to look at my kit as like all of this is multi-use to a certain extent, and I need to stretch myself in different ways. So every time I have a client or I have a model, that's what I think in the back of my head. How can I stretch this in different ways that's going to save me time but still give them what they want? So yeah. He says, like, don't buy my entire list off the bat. That's going to be a lot of money you don't need to spend right away. Correct. This is just the basic small kit. Keep that in mind. Tanya says, what is a good starter palette for a beginner? So I'm going to table that question. Tanya, come back to that question during Ask the Artist at the end. What? Okay. Tanya says, oh, okay, so she's answering Peach's question. Okay, all right, all right. We are keeping it pushing because we are still in the beginning, child. All right, so for content creators, so this is you, most of y'all. So listen up. The first one is learn pro techniques that go beyond trends. Learn pro techniques that go beyond trends. Please stay away from artists that are like, this is mine. These are the only people that should know about pro worlds or pro techniques. Listen, the pro techniques are everywhere in your face. It can't really be hidden. However, if you are unsure, please go to a trusted artist that you look up to or that you might have found on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, etc. And look at their content, look at their videos. Maybe they're explaining a pro technique that they may not say this is a pro technique, but maybe they are showing you education and it just falls under the lines of pro techniques. Please utilize it. Ask them questions, okay? Most will tell you. I kid you not. Most will tell you. Some of them can be mean, but most will tell you about pro techniques and different tips and tricks that can help you as a beauty content creator. But to incorporate pro techniques into your beauty content bag, when I tell you it will literally elevate you from here to here, okay? Because your audience will look at you with different eyes. They're like, wow, she's not just showing me her way, but she's showing me based off of somebody that she admired. And it just so happens to be a pro makeup artist. They're definitely going to pay attention. They're going to be like, okay, I can get with this. And you can also incorporate the pro technique and incorporate it in the way that you would do it on yourself, right? Because obviously, an artist is doing it on someone, but if you are doing a pro artistry level technique, and you're doing it on yourself, you can adjust it because you know how your face is, or you know, yeah, you know how your face is, and you know how your hands maneuver, etc. Listen, trust me. Number two, use your platform to educate and express, not just promote. And I stand by this. This goes for makeup artists as well. But definitely, as a beauty content creator, please know that you can also educate. You don't have to be a makeup artist to educate your audience. I'll say it again. You don't have to be a makeup artist to educate your audience. Um, you can still teach them about whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your heart's desire. If you want to teach them how you put on makeup on yourself, this is what works for me. This is how I do it. This is why, right? And let's say you want to express how a product benefits you, why you keep coming back to it, why it's always on your vanity daily, why is it always the go-to product? What is the reason? We need to know what is the reason, okay? It's really, really, really important. Okay, so please understand that you're not in the business of just leaning into promotion. When you take your eyes and change your perspective from promotion and numbers, and you're trying to get a certain number, it's going to take you off focus of the value you're trying to bring to your brand, the value you're trying to bring to your channel, to your social media page. You want to focus in on the education and how you're expressing whatever it is that you're bringing to the table. People, if they follow you, they trust you. If they are asking for product recommendations, they trust you. You understand what I'm saying? They trust what you have to say about something. They trust you. They might look like you in a sense of the skin, the skin color, the age. Okay, all of that is education that a makeup artist may not be able to give because we're not you. We are simply not you. Third thing, apply artist level detail to your own looks and tutorials. And I'm going to give an example. I don't think Noelle is on here, but she'll see this later. But Noelle is a prime example. She's Makeup Esquire on YouTube, and she's a prime example of this. I don't, if you guys watch Noelle on her lives or in her videos or in her content, numerous of times she mentions an artist that she admires. She has a couple of his products, etc. And what just happened? Hold on, you guys. Hey now. Why is it hold on. Sidebar. Hello, computer. Okay, so she has mentioned about an artist that she admires, and she has a couple of their products, and she has mentioned that he has done this in his videos, and he has done this on this model, and he is known to do this. And so I'm going to show you how to do it today. Or I'm going to show you how I would do it on myself. She's done that numerous of times, and every time she says it, I'm paying attention. Number one, because I'm a makeup artist and I want to see what I can learn. I want to see what he has done differently or what he has elevated through that technique, I want to learn. And I'm already a makeup artist. Who cares? I'm learning from a beauty content creator. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That alone, I'm telling you, people will literally pay closer attention because you are you are elevating your beauty content because you're throwing in artistry level detail into what you're doing. Go into the chat a little bit. Hold on. Okay, Kat is suggesting products for Tanya. Tanya says, I'm stuck doing my makeup the Mary Kay way. Girl, let it go. Let it go. I don't know if their way is an old way, but yeah, if it's the old Mary Kay way, please let it go. Tanya also says, I have no palettes from ColourPop. Okay, so she's just answering. All right, cool. But there are other products on the market, not just ColourPop if you're looking to explore. But yes, definitely those three that I mentioned for content creators, please lean into that. I promise you. Okay, so beauty of building in public. And this one for me, it was kind of hard and kind of not hard at the same time because I was using social media as a I don't know what I was using social media to display my work, but I had no purpose. I didn't really care about the captions like that. The caption that came to mind every time that I would post a look of some sort is to book me at this location. I service this area. And that's what I was doing. That's all I knew. Because I'm like, what else do I need? I was like, okay, well, they said I need to add hashtags. So I'm going to add hashtags in my captions. And so they said I couldn't add hashtags in my captions. So I'm going to take it out and put it in my comments. It was very ghetto. But that is what I was doing. There was no value in my captions. There weren't any value and purpose of the way that I was posting, if that makes any sense. Everything was just chaotic, put it that way. So, as you're doing this, remember that social media is the new resume for both artists and content creators. So, in episode one, it was on imposter syndrome. We mentioned about resume, checking the resume. But in order to check the resume, you have to put the resume out there. You have to show up. So if you are waiting for perfection, like we talked about, if you're waiting for perfection, it's going to stunt your growth. It's going to stunt you from moving forward, right? It's going to stunt you from really showing people what you actually are capable of doing, what your gift is. But if you don't put it out there, how would people know? How would people know what your resume looks like? You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that you have to understand that everything that you're doing is a part of your journey, it's a part of your growth. So you're going to start from somewhere and then you're going to grow. But more importantly, people are going to see that growth. People are going to see you coming from point A to point B to point C. It's super important to make sure that you are constantly are not waiting for perfection or waiting for to get out of the funk. Just do it. Just put it out there. So yeah. So for makeup artists, number one, document your work often. Even if you're not immediately posting, document your work. I had a client today, a nail client, and a new nail client, and she was making sure that I had a video review and that I had pictures and everything. Not saying that I wasn't going to do that, but um, I need to make sure that I have that in my content vault. So when I do push it out, is I'm not waiting on anything. I'm not waiting on coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'm not waiting on her to send me something. No, I make sure that I'm taking care of what I what I'm including in my resume, if that makes any sense. So in the beginning, please, 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 please don't be afraid to document your work, even if you think it sucked. Document it. Document it. Before and afters, behind the scenes of different things that's going on in your artistry, in the space that you're doing it in, the studio, the set life, etc., and the client transformations. Record them. Record the transformation before they see it, before they see their face, and have them give you the feedback. Even if you decide to not post it, like you're not okay with it, keep it for you. Okay. Second thing, talk about client wins. Get on your camera, get on your phone, press record, talk about client wins. Skincare preps, mistakes you've learned. I don't call them mistakes. I call them discoveries, because what I did in when I first started off in art with makeup artistry, a lot of the things I'm not doing right now. And so, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a mistake back in the day. It could have been, but I grew from that point. So I call it more so a new discovery, or just a discovery altogether. And even now, like you can reflect on it in different ways, right? And it may help somebody else. So as you grow through your journey, as you grow through beginner artistry, etc., reflect. Take the time to slow down and reflect what you have discovered, what you have changed, and why, and share. Third thing, don't just post pretty, okay? That was me. Don't just post pretty, but post purposeful. I wanted to make sure I had the prettiest people in my chair. I wanted to make sure I had a certain look in my chair, big lid space, and nice full lips and high cheekbones, and that's what I was looking for. And honestly, as I grew, it just didn't matter, because that wasn't real. Because I'm not going to sit here and get clients all the time with the same features. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Plus, you want your audience to see diversity in different ways, in skin tones and features and skin textures. They want to see that you can challenge yourself in doing anyone, and that your artistry stays consistent. So please keep in mind that you are not trying to find pretty to post pretty. You are trying to post with a purpose, a goal, a goal in mind. Okay. Let's go to the chat real quick. I'm not sure what Peach is referring to. Makeup fiends or makeup finds and MUAs hang around similar pages and influences. Peach says, so I doesn't matter if an MUA gets info from a content creator. Yeah, I honestly, with Sun's Live and Noel's Live, I literally learned a whole lot, because remember, I don't really dive that deep into luxury at all. And so there's a lot of things I do not, even brushes, even animal brushes. I am not well versed, because I just don't have them. I have maybe one or two, and that's it. And I can't speak on a lot of the brush hairs and what it does. But I learned from them, and I've learned so much that I want it now. I want it at least for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ashamed and to say, like, I've learned from a content creator. You can learn from anybody. Someone says, oh, I used to be a Barry K rep. I didn't get far. Uh, he says everything was trying to be attention grabbing. That is so true. Not planned. Yes. Yes, which makes it chaotic. I so agree. He says also, for legal reasons, document everything for a reason that can bite you in the butt later if you don't have it documented. That is so, 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 so true. Oh, Peach, you said a whole lot, especially in bridal. Oh, hmm. Peach said also it hurts if you don't show diversity. It looks like you can only do one type of face. Yes. Yes. Although I would love to do women of color all the time and always have them in my chair, but to only show that is not doing myself good, only because as far as client wise, that's all that they're gonna see. And they're like, okay, well, I don't look like them. So can she do my face kind of thing, right? Can she do my skin color? So I have to make sure that I'm showing diversity between skin tones, etc. All right, moving on. So beauty creators, you want to show the why behind your favorite products. Why show the why behind your favorite products? Because you don't want to pull up a product and say like, okay, um, this is NARS Orgasm Blush, and I just love it. You need to be able to express to them why you keep pulling it out of your pocket, why you keep pulling out your kit, why you keep pulling it out to use all the time. You use it every single time. So why is that? Why is that happening? Show the why behind your favorite products. Second thing, film short breakdowns of techniques you learn from artists. Like I said, Noe is a great example of that. She does it quite often, and for me to even remember that is a lot. So, literally showcase it. No matter what anybody else is going to say, no matter what another pro artist is going to say, this is your page. Do it. Show it off. Okay, three, let people see your process and your personality. It's this also goes for makeup artistry. You're not just there to disclose your clients and disclose that, hey, I've done a model today or I've done a client today, and that's all you're showing, right? That's or just the client itself. There's so much more to social media than that, right? As far as like what you can bring to the table. So you do need to show your process. Beauty content creators, this is for you as well. Show your process and make sure that you are putting your authentic personality forward. When people can sniff a fake, okay? People can sniff a fake. So if your goal is to change how you are, which is another job, first and foremost. So you're looking to come up unauthentically to social media, baby, it's gonna come out eventually. Just it's easier if you stick with who you are, knowing who you are, what you want to bring to the table, how you bring it to the table. Only you can do that. You can only hold your personality and show it. So be more like you. So yeah. Tanya says, I used to sell Avon, but my Avon purchases ate up my profits. See now, you just needed some discipline, is what you need. Peach says you're gonna get men and women of all different varieties. Showcase it. Also, yes, it's not up for debate if you're gonna have a man in your chair or not, because you're gonna get a lot in the chair, so accept it. Um, you can show whatever. It depends on the person's preference, the artist's preference, if they are including men or not. But I understand diversity in general, but that is up to the artist. They can choose who they want to do. But as far as what the audience is viewing, they're saying that, okay, I can't go to that particular artist because boom, they don't do men in this case. Now me, I do men grooming. I do men grooming, but if a man decides to sit in my chair, he wants what I usually put on women as far as like color, etc. Um, that is completely fine with me. I just never showcased it because I never had a client that did that. Does that wanted that? That makes any sense. But I'm not like opposed to it at all. So like I said, it you have to figure out what you want your artistry to consist of. So like I said, that's all up to the artist. Well said on those script, period. All right, so last part before we go into mirror talk affirmations, because we know we got to mirror talk it before we head out. You don't have to chase trends when you understand technique. You don't have to chase trends when you understand technique. Chasing trends, it's like chasing a toddler that is two around. Okay, Especially if you're not the type to be happy go lucky. I'm about to do this to the T, just like this person did. You have to listen, okay? Ooh, Jesus. Let the trends go. That's all I gotta say. Some of them are easy, they're cute. Yeah. Uh-huh. Let them go. I just focus on value more than trends. That is what I say to this goes for both makeup artists and beauty content creators. Maybe focus on the value that you're bringing to the table, and then if you want to throw a trend in here and there just to test out the waters, just to see how you like it, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to focus only on the trend and chasing them all the time, and that's all of what your artistry and your brand consists of, then what are you really telling these people? What are you really telling them? Oh, um, she's the artist that only does trends, that only focuses on trends. That's all I see on her page, and there's no purpose, there's no value. You know what I'm saying? So focus on the value and why you are on social media as a beauty content creator and why you are on social media as a makeup artist. Let me give you a prime example. Sun shares this time and time again in her lives, and her purpose is and her who she is doing it for, as far as like her audience, she is doing it for someone that looks like her, right? She's a beauty content creator, so someone that looks like her, that is 40 and over, and that has skin like her. Okay, that is what I know based off of what she says, and it shows throughout her content, right? It is value all over her content that speaks to that on a continuous basis. So there are products that are geared towards that type of audience. And I kid you not, people are asking for products left and right, what she thinks about certain products, etc., based off of what she has to offer, based off of the value that she gives and brings to her channel and brings to her Instagram. You want to make sure that you are showing value than chasing a trend. There's no value in chasing a trend. You're just going to be known for chasing a trend, and that's it. So if you are a beauty content creator, focus on the value. If you are a makeup artist, focus on the value you can bring as an artist. Okay. Number one, trust your perspective. The algorithm is unpredictable. Okay. But your value is not. Your value will never change. Okay. But the algorithm will. So if you are focused your life on the algorithm, baby, I really don't know what to tell you. Um, the algorithm changes with what you decide to do today or not. So you have to get out of that perspective. If you're worrying about the numbers only, it's going to stress you out. Okay, it's going to pull you farther and farther away from the purpose that you are there and the value that you bring. Second thing, stay consistent. Okay, there are going to be seasons that we are human that we go through. I'm currently in one. I dip in and out of it. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of you, but you also want to make sure that or you want to keep in the back of your mind that what you're doing is a part of your business, is a part of growing your business, and everything that surrounds it is the growth that you're going to need. It's the journey that you're going to be on. But you do want to make sure that you are staying consistent in whatever you're doing. Or let the people know that you got to dip and then come right back to where you left off. Okay, so not just in posting, staying consistent, but in how you present yourself. You present yourself a certain way, then you continuously come a certain way. If you always wear black, then you come in and you always wear black, right? If you are all about color, then you be all about color. So you want to make sure that you are not surprising people by doing different things all the time. You want to, you should be almost predictable in the way that you show up because they are waiting for that. They find value in that, is why they come to you, right? So keep that in mind. Third thing, be okay with evolving. You're not going to know everything all at once in the beginning. You're not. And I used to think that way. I'm like, I need to know everything right now. And it's not going to happen. It's not. Okay. I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And that's okay. And I love that for me. I love the growth. I I dive deep in the growth. Okay. So you need to do the same. So your style, kit, and audience will grow with you. Your audience will definitely grow with you. The people that I look up to, or the people that are a part of my social media or my brands or my business, were not there back in the day, and I wish they were, because it's given me so much inspiration that in for certain days or certain seasons I was in a funk and I didn't know what to do, you know? So be okay with evolving. Let's go to the chat before we do mirror talk. Peach says there's so many men that go into the chair for scar coverings for big events in the chair alone, let alone a lot of other things anyways can offer. Now maybe you don't want to talk about it or show it. That what you're saying, Peach, will definitely fall under the umbrella of male grooming. Peach says, but like it's gonna happen. I did trend based looks for people that wanted them, but it wasn't my focus. Right. Peach says tattoo coverings is also a big one for both men and women that I think should be showcased more because that's a lot of clients. Sorry for my rants. It's not a rant. It's just also it's for those type of things, I don't divide it into men or women. A tattoo cover up is a tattoo cover up, whatever skin, whatever type it lands on. If you're a male or female, if it lands, if you have a tattoo and you need to cover you, I'm covering it. If that makes any sense. So it's a little, I know how to explain it, but it's a little different because I've been in both worlds where I've done male grooming, I've done regular clients, I've been on set for both male and female. So um, if it comes with a job, it comes with a job. As far as like what my artistry consists of, that's not what I'm referring to. Male grooming, I would do hands down because there's money in male grooming, which people tend to not see all the time. But as far as like making them up like that looks like women, that's not a part of my artistry. Not saying that I've never done it. I've done it, but that's not what I'm showcasing. So there's a preference in your artistry. There's nothing wrong with having preferences. However, it's up to you. He says, if you ain't taking care of you, how the bleep you think you're gonna care for someone else, even if it's just a client for like an hour and a half? I'm telling you. And if you do weddings, it's gonna hit you hard. All right, so let's go on to mirror talk affirmations. We are almost on our way out the door. So before we talk about mirror talks, please, if you have questions or if we tabled a question, please get your questions ready and we'll be able to jump right on in after mirror talk for Ask the Artist. Yes. All right, so mirror talk affirmations. I am going to say these affirmations and you can say with me. Also, there's going to be, if you didn't see episode 1, if you're not a part of my channel on my Instagram, you can see that I've displayed the affirmations for you. And so you can download it and you can put it in your pocket, put it in your wallet, or put it on your mirror. But you also, if you want the affirmations from every episode, please hop into the channel and you can get it that way, or you can just message me personally and I can send it to you. Okay? All right, so I am not behind, I am building. I am an artist on the brush, on camera, and in the way I show up. My gift isn't just seen, it's felt. Even when I'm growing, I still belong in the room. Oh, I'm gonna say that one more time. Even when I'm growing, I still belong in the room. My hands create more than beauty, they build confidence. Ooh, I show up with purpose, not for perfection. I don't need to go viral to be valuable. Come on. Every face I touch and every post I share reflects my growth. I'll say that one more time. Every face I touch and every post I share reflects my growth. I am both the artist and the brand, both skilled and aligned. Ooh, I hope that resonated with you guys. All right, so we are doing Ask the Artist. If you have questions, please go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them. If there are any questions, then we're going to close. Peach said, would you also like to remind people it's taken some of the biggest Emmys on the planet took 10 to 20 years to get that? Ooh, Peach, listen. Let's see. I started makeup artistry in 2010. And I think when I felt like I was confident in my artistry, meaning I was confident in what my artistry was aligning in, how it looked, how it felt, I was in my bag as far as like how it looks, how it feels. It was consistent. I want to say what year was that? I want to say maybe 2017. That's when I felt like, okay, we got it. We finally got it. We getting there. We got it. It takes a while to be the artist that you are aligned with, right? So if you are trying to do flash artist, like if you're trying to grow your artistry in a flash, it's not going to happen. There are a lot of resources that can expedite some of the process, but the learning and growing will take time simply because that's just the nature of being a human. You're there, your journey is to continuously grow. You will always evolve. Your artistry will always evolve from time and time again, little by little. um, my advice to that is to just lean into the growth and don't be afraid of it, don't be discouraged. Definitely encourage yourself um, in that growth no matter what. So I'm going to go back to Tanya's question. Let's see. So Tanya asks, there was another question she asked. I'm trying to find it. Oh, she says, what is a good starter palette for a beginner? What is a good starter palette for a beginner? Ooh, if I can remember, because I don't buy palettes anymore. To be completely real with you, I just put them in myself. Hold on, I'm looking. I'm looking. Yeah, the only palette that I see that can possibly, well, I may have to come back to you on that one, but I feel that it's not so much of a learning curve, but this is all matte. I take it back. It's matte and like almost like a cream to matte consistency is the groundwork palettes because you have neutrals and then you have like your berries, your berry colors, but there's no shimmer. That's the only problem. So I have to, oh, you know what? I'm thinking now. Like there are Visyart palettes that are really great. Um yeah, definitely. I have Visyart palettes, but all of my Visyart colors, like eyeshadow colors, they're depotted. They're like, yeah. But I would get something like this, get Visyart and just literally they have shimmers and mattes. They have one that's like this size, like half of this. Not one. They have a couple of them that are like that. So definitely anything Viseart. It is not powdery. It sticks really well to the skin and it's very pigmented. So definitely Viseart. I'm gonna type that in the chat. Viseart. Palettes for beginners, great. I know. I had to think. Oh, you're saying the question. Groundwork isn't cheap, but it's a great palette. But definitely before groundwork, I definitely suggest you dabble into Viseart. Viseart is a really good. You don't want to be. That was another thing. Being a beginner and starting off with the not so quality products they weren't living up to the performance I needed, etc. So literally, like if you're gonna spend the coin for what you need. Okay, make sure they're very good quality and they are doing the job for you to a certain extent. Okay, do not buy dusty, crusty eyeshadow palettes. It's not gonna help you. I'm just gonna let you know right now. As a beginner, it's going to no, don't do it. Get you some quality products with the basic to start you off with, okay? Viseart is not hard to use. It's really easy, but the way that it grips onto the skin and grips onto the eyes and it's super pigmented, anybody can use it. So yes, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate, um, you got this. You can do it. All right, so I don't see any other questions. So we are going to close. So keep in mind, whether you are just getting started or starting over, your growth is valid and your gift is needed. You want to keep showing up, keep learning, trust that your journey has value. Okay. This goes for makeup artists, for beauty content creators. This goes for both of y'all. Okay. Please make sure that you are submitting a topic if you would love to see a specific topic talked about here on Under the Makeup podcast. And share the episode if it resonated with you. It might resonate with someone else. And thanks for tuning into Under the Makeup. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Remember to stay booked, stay blended, and stay bold. Bye.